our people.
Hey Black Hills, Boss Pizza and Chicken is now bringing you the best new sports bar in Rapid City. Grab your crew and check out the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar on North Lacrosse Street. Same great pizza, chicken, and food you love from Boss, and now a full-service bar with beer, wine, and liquor. Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar is a newly remodeled sports bar with TVs all around and a sports ticker dedicated to local and regional sports. This is the place for sports fans in the Black Hills. The new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar in North Lacrosse and Rapid City. They're open early and open really late. Also with delivery at BossPizzaandChicken.com.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in South Dakota. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City. We are Fox Sports!
And here's what you need to know.
The Las Vegas Raiders have reached out to the New England Patriots to request an interview with offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels for the Raiders head coaching vacancy. The Saints have reportedly reached out to Buccaneers offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich about their head coaching vacancy. It was thought that Leftwich was the front runner to take over the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching position. There are reports saying that Leftwich would want to change at GM. Mike Jurecki covers the NFL. Says that the Jaguars would be bringing in Cardinals executive Adrian Wilson to replace Trent Baalke. Earlier today, the Bears reached a deal with Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus to be their new head coach. Broncos are hiring Packers offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett to be their coach, and Ben Roethlisberger officially announced his retirement from the NFL. In golf at the Farmers Insurance Open, John Rahm and Justin Thomas have a share of the lead at 13 under par in second round play. I'm Dan Byer.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
Yes, a good Thursday afternoon to you. How are you? Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is back. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. We know that. We're live from our downtown studio on Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Check us out there. Also on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. Follow us, watch the show. Welcome into the studio. And on YouTube as well, The Nate Brown Show. A lot of ways to get the Thursday show. A packed lineup, a really interesting lineup. We got blockbuster stuff today. The Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The expert team when it comes to orthopedic care in the Black Hills, that is the team. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. More options, better access at Black Hills Ortho. Learn more at bhosc.com. For over 40 years now, the expert team when it comes to bone, joint, and muscle care, for the weekend warrior to the elite athlete. Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, bhosc.com. As we start the Thursday show, let's look at this guest lineup today. Okay, we had this opportunity, and I said, we got to take this opportunity. U.S. Senator John Thune, one of the all-time, great sports fans. He's a sports fan, and I said, we want to talk sports with Senator John Thune, and he's going to come on. The Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. He's been in South Dakota. He's attended some sporting events as of late, so we've got him today live coming up. I never thought I'd have that. I'll tell you, U.S. Senator John Thune, one of the all-time, can I say this, great basketball players out of Jones County back in the day. Okay, we've got him. U.S. Senator John Thune's going to talk some sports. What's his favorite NFL team? Do we all know this? I don't know if we know this. We'll get into it and a lot more. Also, into this, Broncos big news today. They've got a head coach. Ryan O'Halloran is live from Denver. The Broncos beat writer for the Denver Post. He is on tap. Jason Hirschhorn's going to be on today. NFL analyst breaking down Championship Sunday. SB Nation, one of our favorite NFL analysts, Jason Hirschhorn. We'll go out to Sioux Falls tonight, talk to Craig Maddock. East River meets West River, our segment each week with Craig Maddock live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. And Adam Dannenbring also drops by. We have a couple of games now. Well, we've got big ones here tomorrow and Saturday, the Stevens Central rivalry. So we've got girls Stevens Central tomorrow. We've got boys Stevens Central Saturday, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, that boys game got moved up Saturday. If you all think it's going to be at 7, it's not. It's going to be at 2. The stock show and all the parking and all the folks and everything coming into town going to be a little dicey over there, so they said, hey, let's move up that Central Stevens boys game Saturday. That one's going to be at 2. We are going to have all these games, of course, on Fox Sports Rapid City, and we'll start with the girls preview. Stevens girls ranked number 4 in AA, 10-1. Their head coach is Adam Dannenbring. He'll join us live as they get set to take on Central tomorrow. By the way, some basketball tonight as we get 2 hours of thought-provoking sports talk started tonight. Then we'll go to hoops tonight. We've got Central against Spearfish in a doubleheader, girls, boys tonight. So a busy week, local high school hoops on Fox Sports Rapid City. Throw out the number, get you on today. The Barron's Wilson text line open and ready, 720-1067. Barron's Wilson listener text line, 720-1067. The Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar sports line live, 720-1067. Okay, can you tell I've got some juice today, some extra energy? Maybe not. I try and bring some energy each day, but I got a little pep in the step today. Got a little pep in the step. Why is that? Okay. There's 3 big things going on here with the Denver Broncos decision-making today. George Payton, new general manager, Denver Broncos, goes with Packers offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett. Nate Hackett, as we will call him. Nate Hackett, the OC for the Packers, is going to be the Denver Broncos' 18th head coach in franchise history. Now, one big thing, I said they got three big things on my mind as I look at this, and I think about this as a Broncos fan moving forward, Broncos country. One big thing is what? It felt like they just had to try and go offensive scheme coach. It just felt like that. Whether people want to get hung up on, you don't need to do that, Nate. The general manager and the Broncos aren't picking somebody just because they're not a defensive guy. I don't really buy that. Because you know why? Broncos country and fans go berserk because you had Vance Joseph, defensive guy, nothing. People didn't like that, right? Didn't work out too well. They go Vic Fangio last 3 years, didn't work out too well. Defensive guy. If they go another defensive guy, I believe right away George Payton starts off with, well, people aren't as excited. Whether that's right or wrong. Do I know a ton about Nate Hackett? Do you know a ton about Nate Hackett today? We don't know a ton. We know he was with the Jacksonville Jaguars and was calling plays there. He called some plays with the Jaguars back in the day with Blake Bortles. Didn't do too bad. We know he's been with Aaron Rodgers, and as a matter of fact, the Packers offense was what? Number one in the least amount of giveaways, okay? Number 1 in the least amount of giveaways the last 2 years, and number 2 in offensive touchdowns the last 2 years. I'm talking about from 2019 to 2021. Packers, number 1 in the least amount of giveaways, turnovers, number 2 in the most offensive touchdowns scored. And Nate Hackett was there as the OC, and you say, what was his role there? Matt LaFleur, the head coach, isn't he the one calling the plays? He was. So that's the other side of this. Nathaniel Hackett's the OC, putting in the game plan, not calling the plays, and then they say, well, do we know how good Nathaniel Hackett really is? Can we follow his time with the Jaguars and figure out something that he's going to bring here? The deal is this. George Paton, GM of the Broncos, all of a sudden kind of pulled a surprise move here because it looked like Dan Quinn. Everybody said Dan Quinn, defensive guy, former head coach of the Falcons, was going to be the guy, defensive K. And all of a sudden, the Broncos make the first call. They make the first decision. They make the first coaching hire, and it's an offensive guy. That just felt like it almost had to go that route. Whether it was Hackett or whoever, Nate Hackett was a guy that came in, one of the first guys to interview, and he gets his second interview, and they seal the deal. So offense is one big thing. Another thing on this piece, and this is bigger than most people want to give credit for today. You can say it really easy that, well, looks like they're trying to get Aaron Rodgers. People will just say that as in passing here, and people will tweet that here in passing, and this was they're just gonna get Aaron Rodgers, and that's the reason. Let me frame it this way. I'm actually going to give validity to that angle, and you may not. You may think that's a little, come on. That's not the reason they chose Nate Hackett. That's not the reason. Well, offensive guy, and it just so happens to be a guy that's worked with Aaron Rodgers. His offensive coordinator, think they have a pretty good relationship. I don't know. I'm not behind the scenes there at Lambeau and in Green Bay, but you would think that's okay. And I'm here to tell you, is it important to try and make a run here for the Broncos at quarterback? It is. And do the Broncos have to do quite a bit to make sure they can try and get a great quarterback? They do. And this was one of the steps to try and make that happen, I believe. It's not the sole reason that Nathaniel Hackett got hired for the Broncos. There are various reasons. I started with one, the offensive side, the offensive scheme, the fresh look, the whole thing. A lot of his former players really saying, man, this guy's a great guy, great players coach, innovative, high energy, positive, great player relationships. A lot of his former players coming out today. Nathaniel Hackett saying this is a big deal. And they like it. The other side of this is one of these players is really, really important. One of these players is massively important. And I'm going to tell you, this is a big plus to try and get Aaron Rodgers. You may think it just looks easy. I'm here to tell you, this is a strategic play. And now the Packers might have to they got to bring in a new OC. And so you think Aaron Rodgers, let me ask you this question today. Did Aaron Rodgers, was he able to maneuver this potentially and pick his own coach that he's comfortable with? You think the Broncos wanted to risk bringing in somebody totally off the radar from Aaron Rodgers? Do you think they wanted to risk that? That's why I said this is a massive plus. I'm here to tell you, Aaron Rodgers may not have hired Nathaniel Hackett today. Okay? He may not have hired Nathaniel Hackett. The Broncos are, and it's a major play to get Aaron. A major play. I truly believe it. I truly believe that. They're going to hire somebody and then be like, yeah, let's go get Aaron. Maybe. Is Aaron known to get along with guys really easily? Doesn't look like it. So, yeah, we're just going to hire Dan Quinn and hope we can get Aaron. I don't think so. I think there's a lot more to it. It doesn't have to be full-on conspiracy mode, tampering mode, but there's a lot more to it. And I think it's a major play by Peyton to try and put this all together. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Do you think the Packers want Aaron Rodgers back?
I think they do. but I don't know. What do you think?
I might be in the minority, but this Packers fan from the 1960s, when Lombardi was the coach, yeah, I don't want Rodgers back.
You don't.
I don't
you
want.
Don't.
No, I don't.
Why?
It's time to move on. Well, the biggest reason is because right now, whether he gets the MVP or he gets second in the voting, he's probably at the peak of what you can get for a 38-year-old quarterback ever.
Yeah. I mean, he's
now,
there. He's there. He's at his close
he's
to his
he's
peak.
not a free.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to think he's a free agent. He's not. He's got one more year on the contract.
But remember, they did adjust it to where they made an adjustment. Nobody knows all the details, but something about, hey, Aaron has a little more leeway, and so do the Packers. They made it a little adjustment here.
But he doesn't have a no-trade clause. And he did say, he went on Pat McAfee yesterday or the day before and said that the one thing he's not going to do is retire just for 1 year and then come back on the other side of the contract. So
But he can decide where he goes. If the Packers say, hey, we're going to send you to wherever, he could say no.
No, he does not have a no-trade clause.
He could say no. Huh?
He cannot.
I think he can decide where he wants to go. I mean, the Packers have
they have to agree. Exactly. The only way he can decide where he goes is if the Packers say that's okay.
Yeah, I got you on that, and I think there's this
but
adjustment.
They don't have to.
There's a little adjustment
but my guess
here.
Is,
if they send him to the Broncos, they'd be okay with that, I think.
My guess is he's going to the Broncos. My guess
you
is,
do.
Yeah, the Broncos loaded up with draft capital last year in order to make the trade. They figure that's what they're going to do. But I want to know, how, as a Broncos fan, how do you feel if we take Surtain, Chubb, 2 firsts and a second? Are you good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay, because that's about what not exactly the package, but I'm saying that's
a little bit. It's going to cost us a little bit.
It's going to be pretty close to that, something along those lines. But you might also get Adams out of it.
By the way, I think the Broncos hiring Nathaniel Hackett has more to do with Aaron than people want to lead on. I believe that.
Oh, I think it absolutely does. I think he's gone. I'm hoping that I already talked about the possibility of Mariota to Green Bay.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm hoping for Derek Carr.
Oh,
because I think that Derek Carr plugs in there. I think that we're back in the playoffs, and I don't think that we hardly miss a beat.
Appreciate it, buddy. Good stuff.
Yep.
Thanks for getting in. That's a Packers fan. I had a guy on from 1250 The Fan Milwaukee earlier this week. I said, what part of Packers country wants Aaron back? And he said it's 50-50. Then I had a former Packer player on, Mike Wall, yesterday, former offensive lineman for Brett Favre and the Packers. And he said, no, that's crazy. We want Aaron back. But there's a Packer fan here in Rapid City saying, yeah, I'm done with it. And it was kind of wearing thin there in Green Bay a little bit. The Aaron Rodgers kind of fanfare because of the drama of the past year and that whole thing starting in April with the draft night, and it was a little messy. Listener text coming in. Listener text, I don't want to be your buzzkill, but when the Broncos brought in your former coach, it was hailed as a smart move, and his former players loved him as well. The Packers still want Rodgers to play for the team. They realize that love is not it. They see the kid every day in practice, realize he isn't ready. Interesting. All right, listener text. I can tell the enthusiasm in pep and step. Great work. I like it. We got some things popping today. I'm just here to tell you. First thing, offensive coach George Paton and the Broncos, they just went down that road. They had to do it. Second thing, Nathaniel Hackett being the guy, the OC from the Packers, that is a big deal if you're really trying to get this quarterback, okay? And the third thing on it, the third thing everybody needs to learn here, it all comes together. Nathaniel Hackett may be great. He may be an innovator. He may be a player's coach. He may be an offensive mind. He may be a leader. But if he doesn't have a quarterback, the third thing you all need for everybody to have fun in Denver and have success, you've got to have a quarterback. And that's where this all comes together. Aaron Rodgers is the pursuit. Aaron Rodgers is the end of the story. Nathaniel Hackett will not be a great coach if he does not have a quarterback. That's it. So it's an offensive coach. It's a coach that's worked with Aaron Rodgers. And the third part is, it's what you have to have is a great quarterback. And that's the number one target. I think George Paton's going all in. Will Broncos country be ready? Did Aaron Rodgers just select his own coach? Did Aaron Rodgers just select his own coach? Were the Broncos smart to realize we can't take a risk on a Dan Quinn or somebody like that and then hope that Aaron likes it and hope that Aaron plays nice and hope that Aaron does this? What are these guys? They want what they want. They want what they want. And Aaron's at the top of the list of, I want it this way, I want it that way, I'm in the twilight of my career, I don't want to start over with somebody I don't know. The Broncos made the play today. Can they get the TD? Can they? They're making the play. Can they finish it? Coming right back with U.S. Senator John Thune. By the way, a major Packers fan. We'll start there with the senator next.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
Rapid City in the Black Hills, if you're shopping for a new vehicle, before you buy, stop by Gateway, one of our two locations, 123 Omaha or 410 North Campbell. We specialize in credit rebuilder programs. We specialize in finding you the rarest cars in the market. We specialize in the funnest car buying experience. If you have good credit, bad credit, no problem. We specialize in people.
Gateway Autoplex with one of the largest inventories in the Black Hills. I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody
beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. 20 tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the west 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 49. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Mainly clear skies and quiet again. Tomorrow night, lows level off around 31. Mainly sunny skies and calm Saturday, with daytime highs approaching 52. 57 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 28.
It's Honda's Certified Dream Deal sales event. Up to an additional 2 years, 50,000 miles comprehensive warranty, plus certified Hondas come with 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, free oil changes your first year, and 24/7 roadside assistance. Plus at Denny Menholtz Rushmore Honda, we buy cars. Vehicles are in high demand, and due to limited inventory, your vehicle has never been worth more. Stop by Denny Menholtz Rushmore Honda and either sell or trade today. Located off I-90 on East Small Drive in Rapid City.
Take control of your finances in the new year by making a plan with Black Hills Federal Credit Union. Access BHFCU's free money management tool in online and mobile banking to bring all your accounts together in one dashboard. Set budgets, track spending, create notifications, and plan future goals. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit, federally insured by the NCUA.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear, Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Here at Pizza Ranch, we love the unique ways other countries compliment their chefs. In France, they say magnifique. In Italy, delizioso. And in many parts of the world, it's a compliment to belch. Don't try that at home, kids. But at Pizza Ranch, we keep hearing the same thing over and over again when guests bite into our pizza. Mmm. Our famous chicken. Mmm. And all the favorites on our buffet. Mmm. We're beginning to think you're all trying to tell us something. We'll take that as a compliment. Pizza Ranch. Mmm.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Oh, welcome back in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show off and running on a Thursday. Man, a busy Thursday on the Nate Brown Show. Glad you're here. Fox Sports Rapid City Live, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Also on Twitter. Follow us there. Welcome into the studios. We stream it live at Nate Brown Show. Ryan O'Halloran's coming up from Denver. Broncos beat writer, Denver Post. He is live as Denver makes a big decision, the first team to hire a coach. And the Broncos are going to get the offensive coordinator for the Packers, Nathaniel Hackett, as he gets ready to be introduced. Ryan O'Halloran on tap with some insight. Broncos beat writer, Denver Post. First, this is a treat. He's a great sports fan. I know that. Okay, and I'm going to say, can I say he's one of the great basketball players from Jones County? Can I say that? I think so. Okay, that's it. We talk sports with U.S. Senator John Thune, who joins us on the Nate Brown Show this Thursday. Senator Thune, great to have you. I appreciate your time. How are you?
Thanks, Nate. Good to be with you. Doing well. Always good when I'm back in South Dakota.
I believe that. I want to ask you, okay, people have told me you're a Packers fan.
Yeah.
How we feeling after Saturday night?
Boy, I tell you what, they laid a major egg. That was brutal. And, we had such high expectations this year, too. And so, a heck of a way to go out. But they didn't deserve to win. They just didn't. They did not play well, and they let them hang around, and eventually you're gonna lose. And so we got 49ers and Rams now, which is a whole nother sort of little rivalry game. But yeah, the Packers have just not been good. The Niners in the Aaron Rodgers era, he's 0-4 against the Niners in the playoffs, and it's just it's really frustrating. And I could do with all the off-season drama that he brings, but he's a great talent.
Okay, I'm going to ask you that because my Denver Broncos, I say my Broncos, Senator Thune, because I'm a Broncos guy,
Yeah.
and we just hired the offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, here. And so now I'm wondering, are we putting this all together? Hackett as the coach, and now is Rodgers going to come to Denver? You don't want to lose him, do you?
No, I don't. Of course not. But he has hinted at that. And Denver, of course, there seems like there's some in the football world out there, some talk about what a fit that would be. And of course, as you being a Broncos fan, when Peyton came there and won you guys a title, some of these guys are longer in the tooth in their career, but Rodgers still playing at an incredibly high level, and he can still really spin it. And he'd be a great pickup for the Broncos. But boy, yeah, I'd hate to see him leave Green Bay. And I think he's still got some good play and maybe a couple of good years left in him and another shot at this thing. So I hope he hangs around. But you may be thinking otherwise.
We shall see. U.S. Senator John Thune on. Great to have him on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. You just said, hey, I love coming back to South Dakota. Glad to be back. I want to start there. Your passion for sports started way back in the day. Who influenced you? Who got you going in South Dakota sports?
Well, when I was a kid, Nate, of course, my dad was a basketball star at the University of Minnesota, and he was, coaching and teaching when I was coming up in Murdo. So it kind of was just in the family. I had two older brothers that played, and, you kind of watch them. And my mom always said every Thune kid grew up with a ball in their, was born with a ball in their hands. But I watched some of the great players back at that time, during the state tournaments. It was the Big B, and so you'd kind of worship these guys that were playing in that era. But I would say probably more than anything else, just kind of family. They were really it was sort of expected in our family, and the family was very involved. My dad was involved in the school system and all the sporting programs. He was the athletic director there. So just kind of it kind of came organically.
You were in a gym a lot. By the way,
we were.
The gym there in Murdo named after your dad, Harold, and you just came back to the Jones County Invitational. What's that like, going back and still being a part of a Class B basketball event?
Well, I love it, and it's an annual event. I think this is the 54th year. My dad, along with a couple other guys at the time, started it back in the late 1960s, and of course, I played in it, all through high school, 4 years. In fact, my introduction into politics came at the Jones County Invitational Basketball Tournament. That's where it was after a basketball game that I encountered Jim Abner, who was a congressman at the time, and took an interest in me and kind of followed my sports career. And I started getting interested in politics. And lo and behold, ended up working for him. But that tournament has a lot of memories for me, and some great games throughout the years, and it's a great environment. I mean, if you've been in the Murdo Auditorium, it was built in 1954. My dad, he helped build it. They built it all with volunteers in Murdo, and they put that thing. It's still standing today, and it's a great environment for basketball. And those schools from that area all, congregate there every year. And if you want to see a lot of people from small towns, it's a great place to be. So I don't typically miss it. If I miss it, there's something pretty important else going on, because I try to get there every year.
Jones County Invitational, high on U.S. Senator John Thune's list. I like it. Now, you talked about Mr. Abner, and he went to a lot of sporting events. He did. I remember this. And you've done that. Why is that kind of something? Hey, you go here, you go to the USD, SDSU. Why do you go that route as you come back?
Well, for me, it's kind of just a comfort level. I would probably be there anyway, but it's also a great place to see a lot of people. And, they're in an environment. Most of them are there to watch sports. They're not necessarily there to talk politics, but you can interact with a lot of people. And, I talk about the Jones County tournament. That's 8 schools play in it. And so if you go to an evening session, there's 4 teams there and all the people from those communities. But same thing's true at a college game. You just see a lot of folks from across the state. And in many cases, they're people you may have met somewhere along the way. It's always a great way to kind of just restart or rekindle some of those relationships, people that you've known in the past. But more than anything else, it's the environment. I just think there's a lot of energy around sports in South Dakota this time of the year, especially. But I go to football games, I go to track meets. It's kind of a year-round thing, and it's just, frankly, an interest and also something that just kind of comes naturally. And that's the way Jim Abner was. He loved sports. He was a big fan. And, I went to a lot of sporting events with him through the years, and watched him in those environments and have tried to carry on that tradition. But I enjoy it. In fact, I'm going to a basketball game tonight.
Okay, how much does that impact you? You come back to South Dakota, go to a small town event, go back to Washington, D.C. How much does that keep South Dakota in you?
Well, it really does. And the one thing I've observed over time, through the years, is you see elected officials sometimes who go away and then kind of just immerse themselves into the bubble in Washington, and you can really, you just sometimes can lose touch. And I think the connectivity that comes with going to events like that in small communities, small gymnasiums, talking to people where they live. It's just, this is where people live, and these are the things they care about, and it's their kids and their families in many cases that are participating, and so it's very personal to them. And I try and make it personal to me, and try and follow some of these teams, know some of the players, and keep track of it. And I just think that's for me, it's kind of an outlet in a way, and almost it's a good distraction from what's going on in Washington.
Right.
But it also keeps you really grounded, and so that's probably the best part of my job.
U.S. Senator John Thune on tonight. Couple more, I'll let him run. Appreciate his time on the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. You go around, Senator, to some high schools, and you talk to some kids, and you deliver some messages. You've been through a lot. What advice do you have for today's high school student athlete?
A lot of it, Nate, is really for them, just encouraging them to make the most out of what they've been given, and we all have different skill sets, and whether they're into sports or music or academics, just to take your God-given abilities and put them to their highest, best use, and give it their best. I think, the other thing, too, is I think a lot of times in talking to kids, there's so much tumult in the world today, and it creeps down in social media with a lot of these kids. There's a lot of stuff going on that they're dealing with. Is just kind of buck them up a little bit, and tell them it's okay if you're. I've been there, and I've lost some big games, and you win a few, and it's more fun to win. But you learn from all those experiences, and it helps build character. And I think I try and make character a big priority in some of those talks as well. Just taking responsibility for your actions and the choices that you make, being honest, being somebody who's got integrity, and someone who, plays by the rules and treats other people with respect. A lot of that kind of stuff that you would expect, but I just think sometimes they may be hearing it at home, they may be hearing it from a teacher or a coach, but any time, somebody else can reinforce it. So I just try and reinforce some of those values in those kids and hope that some of that stuff sticks as they grow up.
Senator Thune on tonight. Do you still play some basketball? I mean, who's the best basketball player in the Senate? Come on, is it you?
Well, I would say the soup's pretty thin when it comes to basketball talent in the Senate. So that's probably a very good possibility. And I'm not saying that because my game has much to say about it these days, but just not a lot of basketball talent in the Senate.
I like it. I just had to ask you. So you're a Packers fan, okay? So we got that. How about Major League Baseball? Major League Baseball.
Well, from again going back to my formative days, I've been a Packer fan since I was a little kid. I mean, I wrote the organization every year and begged them to send me anything they would send me for free. And one year, my mom and dad got me a jersey, and I wore it until it was threads. But on the baseball side, oddly enough, same thing. When I was coming of age and paying attention, I was kind of an LA Dodgers fan. I liked, the Koufax, Drysdale, that era was kind of coming to an end when I was, a little kid paying attention. But then we got into Steve Garvey, Ron Say, Davey Lopes era, and Fernando Valenzuela, and then Oral Hershiser. And so, there's been some great players through the years that I've kind of followed out there. And, the Kirk Gibson home run in '88 is still kind of the thing of legend. But, in the more modern era, guys like Clayton Kershaw and, so it's been, I kind of follow a lot of teams, but if when I'm cheering for somebody at the end of the season, it's usually going to be the Dodgers.
Okay, boy, we all like teams that win. You like the Packers back in the day. You like the Dodgers. Okay, I remember that, how that goes. NBA, is Michael Jordan the greatest? Where do we stand there? You with me on that?
Yeah, no, I think so. Yeah, I don't think there's been anybody better. I mean, there's some great players through the years, and even some in the game today. But in terms of a guy that could do it all, that could attack the rim, shoot the rock from behind the arc, and he was just all facets of the game. Played great D, and had durability over time too, which is another thing that in this game today, it's just they really have to grind it out. But great player. Loved to watch him play. And the documentary they did, the ESPN piece on that, I thought was fascinating. I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
Oh, it was excellent. Great. Excellent. Don't tell me you're a Celtics fan or anything, right?
No. Again, weird stuff, wild stuff. Kind of LA Lakers, but then there've been some periods where, they made some really, for a few years, there's some just really bad decisions and at the management level. But, I was kind of, again, Magic Johnson era, James Worthy, Kareem back in the day, and when I was paying a lot of attention. And you may say I pick winners, but there was some with the Packers between Bart Starr and Brett Favre. There was a long drive. There was a lot of Sundays where we weren't doing very well, so we hung in there.
Senator John Thune and the Showtime Lakers. That's what it is, the Showtime Lakers. By the way, let me ask you before I let you run. Your Packers didn't make it, so you just said we got Rams, 49ers. We have Chiefs, Bengals. So give me the Super Bowl prediction.
Well, I think the Chiefs get there. That home crowd is great for them, and they just seem like they're really peaking at the right time, playing really well. And of course, it's hard to bet against Mahomes. That Mahomes Josh Allen shootout was legendary.
Wow.
Those guys, you talk about being able to throw it on a rope, man. It was from any angle and any position. So, but anyway, I think Kansas City on one side, and I'd have to go with the Rams. I know that the 49ers have mastered them the last several times they've played them, but I think that Stafford seems to be getting in a groove, and I really like the Cooper Kupp story. I just think that's a great football story, great life story. I mean, he and we talk about him starting out at playing at Eastern Washington, 69th pick in the draft, and his wife worked so she could support him so he could play football through college. It's just a great story, and sometimes those things influence how you look at the game too. So that's my sentimental side, but I think if I was a betting man, I'd put money on the Rams too.
Okay, that was my pick before the season started, Senator Thune. I don't know
Seriously?
much. Yeah, I don't know much, but
are you a Rams fan, Nate?
I'm not. I'll stick with the Broncos. Okay, I'll stick with the Broncos,
right,
but Chiefs, Rams, all the way to September. So we'll see if I'm smart. We'll see if I'm smart.
Wow.
And that's yours. Impressive. You just endorsed my selection before the season, so I'll take it.
I was going to say, but I wasn't making that pick.
Right. U.S. Senator John Thune on tonight. Welcome back to South Dakota. As always, fun to talk sports with you. Thanks for coming on Fox Sports Rapid City. Really appreciate it.
Good to be with you. Thanks, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate it. Senator John Thune on tonight. Appreciate him coming on live on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. That was a lot of fun. Knows his sports stuff, right? I mean, it was rapid fire. Boom, boom, boom. South Dakota sports, NFL, NBA. And so now we know Senator John Thune, Packers, Dodgers, Showtime Lakers. He didn't really say anything about the current Lakers. I don't know about that. And then he endorsed my thought as Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time, right? So, yeah, we're on the same page there. That was good stuff. By the way, it's fun to see that when you're talking about, coming back Jones County Invitational and going to some of these games and some of the history there from his dad and the whole thing. That's good stuff. That's all good stuff right there. Appreciate him coming on. Ryan O'Halloran's waiting in the wings. We'll get to him. Broncos beat writer for the Denver Post. Reaction to the hire. Broncos, the first to choose their coach. We'll get to it. First to call. Thanks for getting in. You're live, and you go ahead.
Hey, Nate. Thanks for taking my call. Is like another reason I love your show is things like just like that. Having Senator Thune on it gave me flashbacks of I was between careers. And quick story, I was waiting tables before I went to college again to start a second career, and I waited on him and his family. And what you hear on the radio was exactly the way that was 15 years ago. It was like, he sounded the same. And then, just to hear people in his position that can speak the way he does about high school athletics.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah,
and,
right.
And not only that, but I'm not a Packers fan. I'm a Bears fan, but I am a Dodgers fan.
Okay.
And
all right.
My kids gave me I got a Oral Hershiser jersey for Christmas, so it's like I even liked him more. So it's like, hey, but I appreciate you like you said, what you do with your show and having people on like that and talking about some of the positive things.
Yeah, that
here
was fun.
South Dakota and small town and everything.
I appreciate that. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate
you
that.
Bet.
Thanks for getting. Yeah, it was good to talk sports. That was fun. I mean, it's like I said, it was one thing after another. I love it. All right, best basketball player in the Senate, though. I think I just crowned Senator John Thune. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking Chuck Schumer and Mitch McConnell aren't too good. That's just my guess. Okay, just my guess. I don't know. Ryan O'Halloran's next. Broncos beat writer for the Denver Post. Okay, what's the real story in Denver? I started my show with it. I think there's a lot more to it than people will say. You have some of the simpletons say, oh, they're going to get Aaron Rodgers for sure. But I'm talking about strategic. I'm talking about big picture. I'm talking about Aaron Rodgers and his mentality. Do you think the Broncos were just going to get somebody else, anybody, and hope they got Aaron? Who's more important, Aaron Rodgers or the head coach? You may think I'm nuts. It's Aaron. Ryan O'Halloran next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. The Nate Brown Show on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapids.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
For FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
In the past, if you needed auto body repair, you had to get multiple estimates and then try to get your car into a shop for repair. Well, not anymore. In most cases, you can stop by one shop, get your estimate, and schedule your car for a repair. The question now becomes which shop you choose. If you like quality, choose J&J Truck and Auto Body. They have ASE, PPG, and Gold iCar certifications that allow them to offer you a nationwide warranty. And they'll work with your insurance company so you're pleased with the outcome. J&J Truck and Auto Body, 1513 East Philadelphia.
This is the story of Ted. Ted didn't play the lotto with everyone else at the office. Jackpot? Ha! Ted laughed. Sure, it's fun to dream, but you're never gonna win. Until they did. Guess who still works at the office? Ted. Guess who doesn't? Everyone else. Don't be a Ted. You've got a lot to win. Give yourself a chance. Play lotto games from the South Dakota Lottery today. Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
We're back on the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Man, out of the gate with U.S. Senator John Thune and into Ryan O'Halloran. Wow, good stuff on a Thursday. Ryan O'Halloran joins us each week. We appreciate that. Broncos beat writer. The best coverage is in the Denver Post. DenverPost.com. Ryan O'Halloran on Twitter, at Ryan O'Halloran. Broncos are hiring the Packers offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett. And I got to give my guy O'Halloran some credit here. Weeks ago, right after Fangio got let go, Ryan O'Halloran said, my number one pick is Nathaniel Hackett. And it wasn't like that's who they were going to get. He said, that's who I think they should get. The background from Jacksonville and the whole thing. And the Broncos, George Payton goes Nathaniel Hackett. Ryan O'Halloran back on the Nate Brown Show. Ryan, how are you?
I'm good, Nate, and file that under blind man finds water.
There you go. It's interesting. Now, I want to ask you this. Were you surprised when this popped here? He came back for a second interview. They're going to go down this road, meaning it felt like it was all trickling towards Dan Quinn. So tell me the level of surprise or not.
The only level of surprise was the timing. A lot of people here in the Denver media thought that Nate Hackett did not close the deal on Monday. There was no deal to close. It was a second interview. And I think they made it clear to him that he was one of three finalists. At that point, 3 days ago, they were content with waiting to talk to Kevin O'Connell from the Rams on Monday coming up at the earliest, and they were still expected to visit with Dan Quinn. Okay, let's go about 24 hours ago, talking to somebody in the building. Say, hey, what's going on with Quinn? And they said, there's nothing scheduled. And I was like, okay, well, everybody thinks he's coming into town. Okay, that was the first red flag that maybe they're leaning toward Hackett, but they really want to talk to O'Connell. Then things really turned in overdrive when the Jaguars requested a second interview with Hackett. And so that's the surprising part was it happened at, 5:05 a.m. this morning and not, Monday afternoon next week.
Okay, refresh everybody's memory here. Ryan O'Halloran on Denver Post, Broncos beat writer. A few weeks ago, you said, hey, my choice is Nate Hackett, Packers offensive coordinator. Refresh everybody on why you went that road and how you feel with their selection.
Yeah, one is offense. As we've talked about pretty much every week for a couple years now, this team cannot score points. They need to go somebody that has a reputation for being innovative on offense, who has play calling experience, who's been on teams that have been able to score some points. That was the big one. Second of all, when you remove a coach like Vic Fangio, you got to go 180 degrees. You got to go younger. You got to go different demeanor. And I think Hackett checks both those boxes. 20 years younger, and his as I wrote for tomorrow's paper, what he impressed the Broncos people in their offices on Monday was high enthusiasm, low on gruffness, and that building on Monday was buzzing when he left because he met with people on non-football and the football side, and they were impressed with him. So you add up all those, but the big thing is an offensive mindset and expertise. it's just a little bit more about of an oomph to me. I don't know how you use that word in the paper, but way down the list, he has a connection with Aaron Rodgers. That doesn't help, but that's not the sole reason, or even the top reason why he was hired, I believe.
Okay, I got you on that. I do. I started my show with this, though. I said some people are just going to say, "Oh, now they get Aaron Rodgers." That end of story. I'm not that guy, but I am saying strategically, looking at Aaron Rodgers and his mentality on relationships, on the twilight of his career, if there is a chance to get him, this is a massive plus, is it not?
Yes, it is. And, as your listeners have seen throughout this NFL season, Aaron Rodgers is a different kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he requires a different kind of relationship with his coaches. He has that with Nathaniel Hackett. So that would help the transition immensely. He'd be playing in roughly the same kind of offense. The terminology may have changed when it goes from LaFleur to Hackett. I get that, but it should be a pretty easy transition. Here's the other thing. This is not a Rodgers Broncos marriage will not be long term. He's going to be in his age 38 season. So let's say 3 years at the most. They also hired Nathaniel Hackett because he's worked with young quarterbacks before, and he's got to get a guy ready for if Rodgers plays 2 years, if he plays 3 years, if he's banged up. So I think just his overall body of work with quarterbacks was attractive to the Broncos.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I just said it, Ryan. I started the show, I said, the Broncos wanted Nate Hackett. I think that's right for reasons you talked about, but they also didn't maybe want to take a risk of we select the coach and then we hope Aaron's going to like that. I don't think that would have worked.
No, and I don't think that was their approach either. Where I was a little surprised with Hackett at the end was I thought George Payton, all of his moves so far since he came to the Broncos has been on the conservative side. And as I think I used the phrase last week, I thought he'd go with the stand-up double and Dan Quinn, who has head coaching experience. He's familiar with him. He's known him for 20 years. Instead, he took a bigger swing with Nathaniel Hackett.
Yeah,
it is a bigger gamble. It's the right kind of gamble, and it could have a much bigger reward.
Couple more, I'll let him run. DenverPost.com for the coverage on this. Nathaniel Hackett, Packers OC, now the Broncos head coach, the 18th head coach in franchise history. You covered him in Jacksonville. He called some plays there. He's not calling plays at Green Bay. Give us a sense for what type of offense you think he's going to roll.
Well, Javonte Williams is going to love him, and Melvin Gordon's going to love him if he re-signs here because, in Hackett's best year in Jacksonville, his only full season was 2017. They went from 3-13 to 10-6. They led the league in rushing attempts. They led the league in rushing yards. So that means he knew his personnel. He was not stubborn, and he knew on the other side of the meeting room he had an elite defense. And so his thing was run it, play action, get a lead, and then run it to close out opponents. And they finished 5th in points. People say that defense was driven. That team was driven by its defense. They were pretty dang good on offense as well. They put 45 up on Pittsburgh in a playoff game.
Interesting. So, some Broncos fans are going to say, well, we've seen swimming through oatmeal, a grinder with Pat Shurmur. That sounds like running it, just a grinder. Is he going to be innovative?
Yeah, and, thing is, with his run scheme, he'll probably do some different things. Here's the thing. You can run it 30 times a game, but it doesn't mean a difference if you don't have some innovation in the pass game.
Yeah.
And you just didn't see that. And granted, this Nathaniel Hackett Bronco offense is going to look great if they have a great quarterback.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have it, it's going to look like everybody else's offense. So that's, it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff he runs in terms of motions, shifts, gadget plays, which the Broncos just didn't have a lot of the last couple of years.
Quick one here. You were in Jacksonville. You covered the Jags. They're going to interview Vic Fangio. What do you think?
Well, I think they have interviewed him already.
Okay.
I think that's more of a defensive coordinator role.
Okay.
And I think if I'm Vic, I'm going to have so many suitors to be a coordinator in this league. I just would wait. I would not go to Jacksonville because, I covered him for 6 years. That time does not even get close to the level of a bleep show that is currently going on there right now. And it's all because of general manager Trent Baalke. You've had qualified coaches who say, I would rather not coach Trevor Lawrence because of who's the general manager.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I mean, how much of an indictment is that? So once again, Jaguars ownership can't see the forest from the trees. They're chasing their tail. I'll use all the cliches. This is why they're a laughing stock.
It's interesting. So it must have been the last couple hours, Ryan, because, Vic Fangio was rumored to be, he could get a head coaching interview, but now Byron Leftwich, no, he's going to be the leading candidate for head coach. But then they just said the Jags might let go of their GM. That just came out. They might let him go.
Well, I mean, to me, if you're Byron Leftwich, a couple of things happened when you met with them on Tuesday. Was, what do you mean the GM is staying? What do you mean that's your salary offer? What do you mean I got to retain some of this staff? So there was obviously some roadblocks to overcome, and that was their first in-person meeting. I mean, if I'm Byron Leftwich, on the one hand, it's 1 of 32, and Tom Brady may be retiring, so you got to strike when the iron's hot. On the other hand, you got to try and give yourself the best chance of success, and working for Trent Baalke is not the proper route there.
I got you. Last quick one. Percentage chance, just right now, Hackett's in now. Hackett's the coach. Percentage chance the Broncos land Aaron Rodgers in this pursuit.
Get a pencil ready. January 27th at 4:54. I'm going to go 63% chance.
I love it. I love that. That's pretty high. That is pretty high. Yeah. Okay, pencil, but that means I'm going to have to erase that. Okay, careful. I was going to get out a pen.
Well, get a pen then, Nate.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to make you work too hard.
I want a pen. I want it solid. I can't get rid of that. Ryan O'Halloran, DenverPost.com. Great stuff, Ryan. Thanks for the time.
Okay, Nate. Take care now.
Appreciate it. Ryan O'Halloran, DenverPost.com, Broncos beat writer on the Broncos coaching search. Popping. I thought that's why he told me to get a pencil. I mean, he's a journalist. Maybe they use pencils down there at the Post, the Denver Post. He told me to get a pencil. 63% chance that the Broncos get Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to write that one in pen here. That's all I've got in the studio. We don't work with pencils here at Fox Sports Rapid City. When we write stuff, we mean it. I do believe it's a strategic approach all the way around. It's not one or the other. It's offensive coach, young coach. It's we need a quarterback. It's relationship with Aaron Rodgers. Broncos really, really want that. It's the big picture from George Payton, the general manager of the Broncos. Can he land everybody? Can he land the whole thing? He's hit the one. Will it get to the Aaron Rodgers situation? I think the Broncos are closer than you would believe. It just seems that way in a strategic, big picture style. Here's how we're moving the organization forward. Nate Hackett, the new head coach of the Broncos. What's next? Jason Hirschhorn's live next, NFL analyst for SB Nation. He's one of the great writers in the country. I want to get his breakdown of the Championship Sunday and more. Jason Hirschhorn, live on the way.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bill significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
Wicket at Elevate Performance. If you have an athlete in your family that is looking for sports training with proven results, Elevate Performance is ready to work with you. Our approach is different. We train one-on-one or in a small group, keeping the focus on your athlete, getting them to perform at their best. If your child is in middle school or high school, we have plenty of training options to fit your schedule. Take your game to the next level with Elevate Performance. To get your training started, visit elevateperformancesd.com.
With so many ways to win, it's easy to see why players choose First Gold Gaming Resort. Every Friday through Sunday, First Gold gives away $8,600 in promo play. Every Saturday night, you can win $1,000 cash on the hour every hour from 6 p.m. till midnight. Join us for First Gold's $2,000 slot tournaments on Friday and Sunday. Plus Deadwood's biggest $12,000 Golden Cash Blast. Saturday, January 29th. First Gold Gaming Resort. We're your first stop on Main Street as you're coming into Deadwood.
Collins Siding has been the region's premier window siding, door, and gutter installation specialist since 1974. They use only the highest quality materials and never compromise on their workmanship. Collins Siding is licensed, bonded, and their estimates always include labor, materials, and applicable permits and taxes. Collins Siding has been providing top quality service and exceeding high standards for over 45 years, and you can find out how by visiting them at 2016 Cherry Avenue. Collins Siding, 2016 Cherry Avenue, Rapid City.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are back on the Nate Brown Show on a packed Thursday tonight. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. Stream us there on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. Welcome into the studio. Live video stream at Nate Brown Show. Follow us on Twitter. You've got us on your phone there. Also on YouTube, The Nate Brown Show. The Nate Brown Show, YouTube. And, of course, FoxSportsRapidCity.com. Championship Sunday. I don't know if I'm going to end up right on this thing. I mean, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Is that what they say? Beginning of the year, before we even started, up there at BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzie Deadwood, I said, I'm going to go Rams-Chiefs for the Super Bowl futures. I'm going to go Rams-Chiefs for the Super Bowl matchup, okay? And then I said the Rams will win the whole thing. Well, let's see if I get the first part right. We're setting it up for you. What's Jason Hirschhorn think? NFL analyst, SB Nation. Find his work there and also follow him on Twitter at @by_JBH. Jason Hirschhorn, NFL writer on the Nate Brown Show. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nate. How are you?
Doing good, man. I think this Championship Sunday is going to be really interesting. Let's start with the Bengals-Chiefs. Bengals beat the Chiefs. We know that in an important game, so it wasn't like the Chiefs just mailed it in. Can the Bengals do it again?
Well, they can, but the path to them winning a victory here is pretty narrow, and it's for a lot of the same reasons that it was going to be difficult for them to win in the divisional round. That offensive line and the way that Joe Burrow manages pressure is a real problem for that offense. Now, Joe Burrow is able to make some really quick decisions. That's why he's been able to overcome those deficiencies throughout much of the season. But sometimes the pressure is just coming, and when that happens, Joe Burrow doesn't just accept the sack and live for the next down. He oftentimes tries to extend plays. We saw him do that multiple times last week, got them into trouble, especially on third down. That's going to be a problem again in all likelihood against the Chiefs because that pass rush has been very effective of late, especially since they moved Chris Jones back into the interior. So that is really the key matchup to me. I mean, the Chiefs offense is going to do what the Chiefs offense does. It's just that kind of a unit. You expect it to produce as long as Patrick Mahomes is on the field. But it's that matchup against the Chiefs defensive front and the Bengals offensive line that I think is going to determine whether or not the Cincinnati Bengals actually have a chance.
Okay, I was wondering. We saw the Bengals struggle on the O-line against the Titans. They survived. I look at this, I say, how much is Joe Burrow going to be able to put up points? Josh Allen was unreal. Burrow put up some points with some playmakers. This Chiefs defense, are we worried about it a little bit in the second level, not up front?
Yeah, you have to be, especially if Tyrann Mathieu is compromised. There are coverages that they run specifically because they have Mathieu back there. And it's not that they can't run it without him, but they're far less effective doing so. Now, again, that pass rush can make up for a lot of problems in the back end. And we know Steve Spagnuolo, the Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator, is not afraid to send extra rushers. But that can work to your disadvantage, too. If Burrow is able to diagnose where that pressure is coming from very quickly, be able to figure out who is going to be open quick, when you're in sometimes zero coverage, that can be one of those game-breaking plays. We've seen the Bengals produce a lot of those, specifically with Jamar Chase, that rookie wide receiver. So, again, there was the path here for the Bengals, but it has to be pretty close to everything going right on offense and defense for them.
Do you think Vegas has that number right then, Jason? I kind of hear you saying the Chiefs have the edge. 7-point favorites for the Chiefs.
I mean, that feels about right. It's in Kansas City. The Chiefs have been here a lot. This is their fourth consecutive trip to the AFC title game. This is the Bengals' first trip to the AFC title game since the early 1980s. So, I mean, that doesn't mean, again, that the Bengals cannot win, but you're dealing with a very veteran squad in the Kansas City Chiefs, a very talented squad. And this is a Bengals team that, frankly, outperformed their raw talent. I mean, they have A-level players, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon. But they still have a lot of flaws. It's not just the offensive line. There are parts of the defense that are eventually going to be retooled, and obviously they don't get to do that before the AFC title game. So this is a situation where the Bengals have a lot going against them. It is a surprise that they're here, but at the same time, the Bengals have done a really good job making a lot of us look silly predicting against them this season.
Jason Hirschhorn on, NFL analyst, SB Nation here on the Nate Brown Show. So we go AFC there, Chiefs with the edge. Rams, 49ers. I love the game. Sean McVay's 0-6 against Kyle Shanahan. Are the Rams going to be able to protect? You talked about protection with Burrow. Can the Rams protect Stafford against a 49er front?
I mean, they're going to be able to protect him to some degree, but that 49ers front is going to create pressure on anybody. Last week, when they're playing against the Green Bay Packers, which had statistically one of the best pass-protecting offensive lines in the NFL, Rodgers is under the most pressure he'd faced all season statistically. It was over 35% of his dropbacks. And this is a Rams offense that, while it's very good at getting the ball out quickly, it's something that they've really done well since Stafford arrived in Los Angeles. It is also at the same time a unit that is playing with a lot of injuries. Andrew Whitworth, if he is there, how well is he going to hold up? Because he's literally in his 40s now. That's very, very old for any NFL player, let alone a left tackle. So going up, whether it's against Joey Bosa or somebody else, they do move those players around. That's going to be a problem for them. Now, the Rams don't have the luxury some other teams do of having this really dominant run game to lean on to really negate some of that pass rush. So unless they get a very early lead, a double-digit lead maybe, they're going to have to throw a lot. That plays into the 49ers' defensive advantages. Even if that secondary isn't great, that pass rush makes up for so many of those deficiencies. It might be the best one in the NFL still going, at least at this point in the NFC. So you look at all those things, you look at the fact that the 49ers have really, since the last month and change, they're one of the best overall teams in the NFL. It plays a lot to San Francisco's advantage. At the same time, San Francisco has to get around Jimmy Garoppolo. And this is something that, yes, they have been able to do late in the season, but Jimmy Garoppolo has really, really tried to throw them out of games. He tried to do it this past week against the Packers. He had that red zone interception. That was his second red zone turnover in the previous 3 games. That's not very good by any standard, let alone an NFC title game standard. And, this is still a Rams offense that is good about getting the ball out quickly and deep. And that's one of the few areas where that 49ers defense has been susceptible of late. So there is a path there, too. I think this game's a lot more even though the 49ers, they barely made it into the playoffs. This is a very competitive team. It's a great defense. It's a really well-designed offense. It takes a lot of the pressure off its quarterback. But, again, it has to do that because Garoppolo has really been a problem for them for the past 2 years.
See, the 49ers ran it against the Rams. They've been able to run it against them. Aaron Donald and crew, they're kind of built to rush the passer. Can the Rams hold up against the run?
I think they can, at least in some situations. Now, this past week with the 49ers, they were never really down by a lot because Green Bay had that turnover right before the red zone on their second possession. Another possession that was about to get into the red zone was short-circuited by a false start on a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2. And those things kept the 49ers in range, allowed them to stick with that run game. Conversely, had Green Bay just managed to go up 14-0, the 49ers are going to have to change their approach on offense, and they were almost certainly going to. Have seen Shanahan do that before when he's in those situations. In this case, if the Rams are able to get up early like they did last week against Tampa Bay, we know they're capable of doing it, then you could see that kind of outcome here, where even though Deebo Samuel and the way that they use George Kittle in that run game is so effective, they have to move away from it simply because of the game state. So I think this is going to come down to, honestly, certainly the first 20 minutes of football might well determine if the 49ers have a chance. But if it is close, especially if it's close going into the second half, that's when the 49ers, I think, are really going to be able to put the clamps on. So focus early on that game. I think it's going to tell us what ultimately happens in the NFC title game.
SB Nation writer, NFL analyst Jason Hirschhorn's on tonight. Follow him on Twitter. A good follow at @by_JBH. Some quick ones on coaching. Broncos are hiring Nathaniel Hackett, Green Bay offensive coordinator. I'm a Broncos fan, Jason. I like it. Two things. Offensive approach, I think they needed to do that. Last two coaches have been defensive guys. Younger, and then I think it could be strategic. It's not a lock and stock deal with Aaron Rodgers, but with his personality, relationships are important. The Broncos might be making a big play there. What do you think of the hire of Hackett?
Well, you and I spoke about Nathaniel Hackett the last time you had me on your show, and I thought that he would be a really strong hire for the Denver Broncos. And it's not because of anything to do with Aaron Rodgers. Sure, the Broncos would love to get Aaron Rodgers. There are a lot of teams that would absolutely love to have the reigning MVP, likely the back-to-back MVP, but that's not why you make a head coaching hire. Nathaniel Hackett, before he even got to Green Bay, has shown that he is very, very good about working with limited personnel. In Jacksonville, with Blake Bortles, he put together one of the most efficient offenses that season, one that was good enough that they were within a few minutes and maybe a bad call in Myles Jack of going to the Super Bowl. But before that, he's been a play caller with Buffalo. He's been a play caller at the college ranks at Syracuse. He has a lot of experience doing those sort of things, even if he didn't do that specifically in Green Bay. So while, again, I am sure the Broncos, given the opportunity, would love to acquire Aaron Rodgers, that is not why they made the decision. I think they made the decision assuming that that wouldn't happen, and that if that changes, great for them. But you want Nathaniel Hackett because of what he can do, and not just for the offense. Everyone to a man in the Green Bay locker room says that when he's in front of the room, he commands that audience. He commands the respect of the players. So I don't think he's just going to be this guy who comes in and fixes the offense. I think he can really command that entire locker room. So while it's a risk with any first-time head coach, it's really risk with any head coach hire, full stop, Nathaniel Hackett makes a lot of sense for that situation.
Jason Hirschhorn tonight, NFL analyst, SB Nation, Twitter at @by_JBH. Jason, always good, man. Appreciate you coming on.
All right, take care.
Thanks for the time. Jason Hirschhorn on the Nate Brown Show. Great NFL guy. SB Nation and @by_JBH on Twitter. Jason Hirschhorn tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City, breaking down Championship Sunday. Feels like the Rams 49ers going to be really tight, and he goes Chiefs on the AFC side. All right. With this Broncos situation, there's a couple of things some people may not know. With Nathaniel Hackett going to the Broncos now as the head coach, I'm excited about it. New offense, fresh approach, really good motivator, really good leader. It's one of those guys, all of his former players are saying, man, this guy's the guy. So you love seeing that. And I know sometimes that happens a little bit, but it was a lot today. So Nate Hackett, head coach. And let me just say this. Outside of the tampering and all of that stuff, Nathaniel Hackett is going to try and help George Payton and the Broncos get Aaron Rodgers. You think Nathaniel Hackett's just going to roll with Teddy? I mean, if he has to, but he's going to try and help him get Aaron Rodgers now that he's in. So, yeah, it wasn't I'm getting Hackett to get Rodgers. It's I'm getting Hackett for here's a few reasons, and there's a big strategic play behind it. The other thing is Aaron Rodgers' girlfriend is there in Boulder, Colorado. Did you know that? So, girlfriend's close by, Boulder, chill. You know, be the next big thing in Denver, Aaron. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. And as a Broncos fan, we're just, waiting for competitiveness. And Nathaniel Hackett's going to look at this roster and say, hey, I got some defensive guys. I got some young offensive talent. And what are we going to have to give up here to get Aaron Rodgers? And the Packers may think, yeah, it's time to build the cupboard here. It's time to fill the cupboard. Packers have made some great runs. It's time to fill the cupboard. I think it's going to be closer than many, many think. With Hackett to the Broncos now as the head coach and the potential that could bring in the big picture, because Aaron Rodgers wants guys he knows. Relationships matter. He's a different cookie. I mean, the whole thing, okay? Coming back into the Drive at 5 on a Thursday, I've got something for you. I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to make a prediction, not about Championship Sunday. I already told you, I'm way at the beginning of the year. I said Chiefs-Rams, so I might get lucky. We'll see. Not about Championship Sunday. I'm going to make a prediction about next season. There's a lot of people talking about this saying, oh, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if we really know. We know. I'm going to tell you what we know, and I'll make it my question of the day and see if this might be my worst prediction ever, but I think it's going to be right on. Anybody willing to wager with me? That's next.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer from Denny Menholt Toyota. Use your phone. It's fast and easy. Pull up our website, click on Value Trade-In, scan your VIN, and tell us about your car. You are on your way to a no-hassle, no-commitment cash offer on your vehicle in under 5 minutes. Bring your vehicle and your Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer to Denny Menholt Toyota and get cash or trade-in credit today. See you soon at Denny Menholt Toyota, Rapid City.
All right, guys, if you need a haircut, the one place I go every time is the Man Salon. And there's a reason for it. They just do the best job. You get a great haircut with your personal stylist. I can watch a game or whatever I want in my own station. Then I get shampoo, hot towel, shoulder massage, all at a great price at the Man Salon. 2 convenient locations for you at Rushmore Crossing and on West Main. The Man Salon offers a military discount for active and retired military. For your next appointment, just book at themansalon.net.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
For nearly 100 years, Connex has been providing the know-how and materials to help their neighbors grow. Through partnerships with builders, homeowners, and contractors, Connect Home Centers have impacted our communities, making them stronger and safer through support of local organizations and neighborhood beautification projects. Improving the quality of life for others is important to us. We are Connect Home Center, your hometown lumberyard lending a helping hand in building our communities since 1928.
Someone will come in, they'll have a noise under the hood. We'll go out and take a look at it. We can determine by the type of noise, and usually if we can determine where it's coming from, we can direct them to the piece that has failed. My name is Dick Lemke. Working at Sturtevant's as long as I have, it's definitely become my career. When you need someone to help solve the problem, start with a Sturtevant store near you.
STURTVANTS, come and see Sturtevant's. Has it Sturtevant's?
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, good stuff tonight. How you doing? Thanks for being here. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. We're live on Fox Sports Rapid City, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show here in the Drive at 5. Brought to you by Summit Automotive Group, summitautogrp.com. Start there before you buy. Start there, summitautogrp.com. Car buying truly built around you at Summit. Craig Maddox coming up live from Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. East River meets West River, our weekly segment. Let's have at it. All right, Craig Maddox coming up from Sioux Falls. Stevens and Central girls, boys this weekend. Basketball. We've got the girls head coach at Stevens this hour, Adam Dannenbring. The Raider girls are 10-1. We'll talk to Coach Dannenbring on the way, get an update before we have the Rapid City rivalry. Girls Friday night, boys Saturday afternoon at 2. All right, let's make a prediction here. Let's do this. It's time to, suck it up a little bit. It's time to take some risks here. Everybody says, I don't want to make the predictions and hot takes. I don't, a hot take artist. This isn't a hot take, but I got to stop everybody. Just pump the brakes here. I've got to stop everybody on this big prediction for next NFL season. Here's a headline today. This is ESPN. This is a leading headline, ESPN. Here it is. A league without Tom Brady seems like a foreign concept, but it could come soon. Okay. I almost say, a league without Tom Brady seems like a foreign concept, but it could come soon. And then they follow. The quarterback's exit could happen without fanfare, and he's okay with that. Folks, Tom Brady is not going anywhere. Can we all finally say this? Do you think Tom Brady's just going to go out with a whimper like that? He's going to go out with a whimper like that? And no farewell tour? No Coach K farewell tour? I mean, it's the Coach K thing. We're talking about an all-time brand. An all-time brand. And he's just going to end football on a sleepy Sunday afternoon. We're 3 points away from another historic comeback and getting to the NFC Championship. Folks, let's not be crazy here. The prediction, I'm going to say, rock solid here. Rock solid. Tom Brady is going to have the fanfare. You talk about an all-time great going into a last season. Folks, whether you love Tom, you don't like Tom, whatever it is, look at the real story. There will be a farewell tour. There will be fanfare. Tom Brady's not just going to go off and have a fruit cup at 3. That's not going to happen. He's going to go on a last run. And I'm going to tell you, it feels like probably next year would be the last run. So people saying, well, he's never talked about this. He's never thought about this like this. He's never mentioned it like this. So, yeah, he's starting to mention it. He's not going to bail. And again, this is about the brand. This is about Tom Brady's legacy. This is about going out one more time. He's going to go at least one more year. And next year might be it. Whatever happens with the Buccaneers and the whole thing, it might be it. But no, the quarterback's exit will not happen without the fanfare, as ESPN says. And he's okay with that. I'm sure he is. Wink, wink. It ain't happening. And Tom Brady's not going to let it out. Oh, just, very humble and, good luck, everybody. Just going to go spend time with the family and go to the park and have fun. There will be fanfare. There will be every game sold out. There will be the one last run for Tom Brady. Ben Roethlisberger did that. Ben Roethlisberger did that. You think Tom Brady's not going to do that? Tom Brady's going to do it. Can we stop saying he's going, well, he might quit? I don't know. I better click on this article. What do they think? He's coming back. The Nate Brown Show confirmed it for you here in Rapid City, South Dakota. Congrats. Back with Craig Maddox live next.
The Nate Brown Show.
Are new windows from Renewal by Andersen a great investment? You're darn right they are. Did you know that for less than your cable bill or cell phone bill each month, you could have new windows from Renewal by Andersen right now? Do the math. Renewal by Andersen windows will likely cut your energy bills significantly. They will likely substantially increase the value of your home. They're a great investment. Please contact our team now and ask about our fantastic financing options with approved credit right now. Renewal by Andersen, a great investment? You're darn right.
And big corporate banks is they don't allow people to run their business the way that it should be ran. And without a doubt, it's been just an easy relationship with Pioneer Bank, very easy.
Yeah, we support them because, they support us. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
Pioneer Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights, we switch the TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Scott Carlson right here in Rapid City, and I can switch you over and you can start saving today. Me and my team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just call me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson. Want the real deal? Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet buys cars. You heard that right. We don't just sell cars, we buy them too. We make cash offers to purchase local cars, trucks, and SUVs every day. Tired of listing online? Tired of messages? Or just tired of making payments? Whatever the reason, make an appointment at rapidchevrolet.com for a no-obligation appraisal. It's fast and free. When you're ready to sell, we're ready to buy. At Danny Manholt Rapid Chevrolet, Rapid City.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Your Sports Your Show, the Nate Brown Show, live, Fox Sports Rapid City. South Dakota Sports Talk Show here, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Welcome in on the radio side. Also, bring us up on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. If you're on Twitter, you've got us. Also on your phone, The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. You can find us, subscribe to the channel. We'd appreciate it. You got the live show and the archive show. Remember, the Nate Brown Show podcast, where you download your podcast. Just got asked today, hey, are you on Spotify? Yes, we are, as a matter of fact. Spotify, Apple, Google, wherever you get your podcast, we're out there. The Nate Brown Show podcast, when you can listen at your own convenience. Craig Maddock is on. South Dakota Public Broadcasting covers the state championships, has the podcast In Play with Craig Maddock, live from Sioux Falls. East River meets West River. Let's do it. Craig, thanks for coming on. How are you?
Hey, I'm great, and thanks for the plug. Just like you, I can be on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast. Brand new podcast of In Play just released this afternoon. One of the best all-time wrestlers in South Dakota, Kirk Wallman, won 6 state championships. He's a part of the first family of South Dakota wrestling because his dad was the first South Dakotan to have 4 state championships in the state. He has 3 boys, Corey and Troy. They both have 4 championships apiece. Then you got Kirk, who had 6.
Wow.
So there's 18 championships between the Wallman guys.
I would not be tough enough to be in that family. I'm sorry. I'm just not tough enough.
I'm sure there was a lot of lamps broken in the basement when those guys were wrestling as kids.
I believe that. That's a good one. Okay, In Play. Check it out. Question for you. I asked, so I saw these numbers yesterday. The Activities Association says we have 25 more basketball officials this year than we did last year. So that's nice. Good news. It's like, hey, we have more basketball officials. Some sports are struggling. Volleyball's a little dicey. Football's a little dicey. But then I look at it and say, even in the basketball officials, 50% of them are over 55. So you're going, okay, are the young people feeling this? My question is, what's tougher these days, coaching or reffing? That's my question.
I will go coaching right now. because of the fact that you're dealing with a lot more than just than fans. You're dealing with kids, the schedules. You're dealing with just the society today, and of course, you're dealing with parents. I think it's tougher coaching today than it was 10 years ago. When you're officiating, and I've done a little officiating, not certainly on the varsity level or anything, but most of these officials, pick your sport, they're doing it for the love of the sport, and they're willing sometimes to take a little heat, knowing that maybe it makes them a better official. Maybe they understand it's part of the game, but they're really truly enjoying the sport they're in. Now, do we have a lot of officials over the age of 55? Yeah, we do, and it's time to continue to get some of these younger cats, in their 20s and 30s.
I don't know if we can get them
to join in.
I don't know if we can get
them.
Try
to get them to join in.
Yeah.
Well, you got to recruit. That's what you got to do. And I know the Activities Association is still trying to do that with all the sports in the state.
Okay, my audience answered this, and I was surprised. What is the tougher job right now in high school sports? 62% of people said reffing. 38% said coaching. I'm with you. I said coaching, without a doubt. Just all the responsibilities and everything that goes in it. That's a year-round grinder sometimes, I think. But it's interesting. Both jobs are tough to fill, I think, in South Dakota, not only in South Dakota, but beyond. I will ask you this fun question of the day, Craig Maddock. I'm having fun with this, okay? I'm looking at just a fun topic. I said, hey, let's look at some South Dakota sports figures. Who would you want to take a road trip with? Who would make the most interesting road trip in South Dakota sports figures? And I got duos here, and I put them together. I said, Coach Stiglmeyer and Bob Nielsen. Yeah, we got Coach Stig. We got Coach Nielsen, STSU, USD. I said Steve Steele at Pierre. He's won a lot. Or Kim Nelson, Roosevelt. He's won a lot. So I go football coaches. How about Dave Hollenbeck and Larry Luchins? How about Hollenbeck and Larry Luchins?
I love that one. Yeah.
Or Stu Whitney, your friends, Stu Whitney, Argus leader, and Dan Swartos. Wouldn't Stu Whitney and Dan Swartos, the executive director and peer of the Activities Association, that'd be quite the conversation. So who's your vote, Craig Maddock? Who are you taking a road trip with? Have you been on a road trip with any of those guys?
I have not. I've worked with Larry Luchins one weekend. Larry worked with us for the state basketball tournament in Rapid City. That had to have been 17, 18 years ago. I love Larry Luchins. I would go wherever Larry would go.
Wow!
And if Dave is going to come with, Dave, I think, would enjoy that trip just as much as I would. So I'll pick that one because think Larry is top of the heap.
Okay, I've taken some road trips with Dave Hollenbeck, so if you want to let me tell you what that's like, you just let me know, okay? That'll be off the air, okay?
Well, it depends if they've won or lost the night before. That makes a big difference.
No doubt about that. No, that's a good one, Hollenbeck, Luchins. By the way, let me ask you a quick one, Craig Maddox on Sioux Falls. You're a Vikings season ticket holder. They hired a general manager, introduced him today, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, 40 years old. Got his start in the NFL less than 10 years ago. Analytics, research. Craig, we're old school guys. The new age is coming. The new age is coming. What do you think of this new innovative hire here?
Well, he is a guy who has said that he is not going to necessarily make the final decision. He's going to get other information. He's going to talk to other people in the organization, and they're all going to get together and hold hands to make decisions on who the next coach will be, and maybe how they'll structure their next coach. They'll do it together. A little kumbaya moment, I think, is how
I'm sensing
they didn't
sarcasm.
Put it that way. I didn't think they put it exactly that way, but the Vikings had to do something different. And what I'm understanding, and I listened to the news conference from Kwesi today. Kwesi, a very smart man, went to Princeton. I mean, he's you name the degree, he's got it. And he worked for the 49ers, worked under that system, worked under the Browns under that system. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, he won the news conference today, but that just doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win everybody over. It's now result time, and we'll see what happens. And we'll know in the next maybe 2 days, because his first decision is a coach that he's going to hire, and who knows whom that's going to be yet.
It's interesting. I sense a little sarcasm, but I know what you're saying. You know, I was asked about it. I said, Nate, what do you think of this analytics guy and the whole thing? I don't poo-poo analytics. I'm not crusty old guy like that. I think it's valuable, but I do think sometimes the stuff gets really overplayed, and we got analytics guys running the Twins and the Vikings and the Timberwolves, and I go, maybe it's all going to be good. But I do think it's not going to make the Vikings all of a sudden a great organization. There's other things that they hired him for, I think, and I hope. And you say, well, everybody's got to work together and the whole thing. It is a different approach than what was there, Craig. I mean, Zimmer was tough.
That surprised me a lot. That really surprised me a lot when I found out that Zimmer and Spielman really didn't even talk to each other. And that you can't do that in any business, especially in the NFL.
Yeah, new approach there, no doubt, with GM/coach, whoever he hires. Craig Maddock tonight in Plays the Podcast. He's live in Sioux Falls. Find him on Twitter at Craig Maddock. Always good. Thanks a lot.
All right, Nate. See you around. Good luck to your Broncos, too, by the way.
I appreciate that. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Good luck on trying to get Aaron Rodgers. Thank you. Craig Maddock tonight, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, live from Sioux Falls. East River meets West River. He's in, so his choice for the South Dakota Sports Road Trip. South Dakota Sports Road Trip. I put it out there to the audience. Who would make the trip the most interesting? This tandem. Coach Stiglmeyer, Coach Nielsen, Jackrabbits, Coyotes head football coaches. That'd be interesting. Hollenbeck and Luchins, two of the most winning coaches in South Dakota basketball history. St. Thomas More's current coach, Hollenbeck, Larry Luchins of Custer fame. Stu Whitney, the Argus leader, flamethrower. I think I would like to take a road trip with Stu, and I might make it out to the Love's truck stop. I might have to get out by then, but Stu Whitney and Dan Swartos. Steve Steele, the Pierre head coach. Kim Nelson, the Roosevelt head coach, former Rapid City Central head coach. You know who's winning the poll? Who does everyone want to take a road trip with when it comes to South Dakota sports? Stu Whitney and Dan Swartos. So you'd hear Stu and Dan argue about high school state championship placement. Where should we have basketball tournaments? How many football classes should we have? Why do we have this rule? And oh, boy, I might not make it to the Love's truck stop. I might not even make it there. I'm kidding. Hollenbeck and Luchins come in second, by the way. Talking some hoops there. Talking some hoops now. Hollenbeck and Luchins going back in that Custer-St. Thomas More rivalry. And Custer, of course, had some great runs. State championships, and Paulson and these guys, I mean, they were really good. St. Thomas More kind of took that spot, and Dave Hollenbeck has made some nice runs. They come in second on the sports road trip list. By the way, 70% of the audience is with me today. Tom Brady is coming back. Do you think we've seen the last of Tom Brady? 70% of you say, no way, he's coming back. 30% say, yes, that's it. Listener text coming in, 720-1067. He's got a prediction on Tom. Great show, Nate, but I agree. Tom Baby and Gronk are not retiring. Wait a second. Then he said this. They're both going with Byron Leftwich to the Jaguars. Oh, come on. Come on. Easy. Don't take the show off the rails. All right. Adam Dannenbring next. Rapid City Stevens Central. It's the rivalry this weekend. Friday night, it's the girls. Saturday afternoon, it's the boys. Let's talk about this girls matchup. Stevens and Central girls. If you haven't seen them, they've got good basketball teams. The head coach for the Raider girls, Adam Dannenbring.
By searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Banking at any time, any place, for anyone. That's what Highmark Credit Union is all about. Born in Rapid City 80 years ago, They're proud to bring a full range of consumer products and commercial lending services to thousands of area members. If you're looking for a place to bank where you're just not an account number, Highmark is the answer. Learn more at highmarkfcu.com or stop by any of their branches for more about better banking. Highmark Credit Union. We'll make it happen.
At Renewal by Andersen, we are proud to be considered the best replacement window company in the nation. And we love it when our customers do lots of research on their own and then call us. Renewal by Andersen products are at a different level from the others for sure, but our story is much more about people than it is about products. Renewal by Andersen franchises are local family businesses. Installers are full-time experts, not subcontractors. The owner of the franchise in this part of America grew up on a ranch. He learned what hard work and integrity were all about from great parents as a boy. He simply would not represent a poor quality window company, which is why this Renewal by Andersen franchise is one of the most respected and decorated in the nation. If you're even considering new windows, please reach out to the team at Renewal by Andersen for a no-pressure conversation. Please visit us on the web at rbarapidcity.com to learn about our financing and book your free in-home consultation. Renewal by Andersen, proud of our products, proud of our people.
Hey Black Hills, Boss Pizza and Chicken is now bringing you the best new sports bar in Rapid City. Grab your crew and check out the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar on North Lacrosse Street. Same great pizza, chicken, and food you love from Boss, and now a full-service bar with beer, wine, and liquor. Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar is a newly remodeled sports bar with TVs all around and a sports ticker dedicated to local and regional sports. This is the place for sports fans in the Black Hills. The new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar in North Lacrosse and Rapid City. They're open early and open really late. Also with delivery at BossPizzaandChicken.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back. Good stuff tonight on a Thursday. We're just packed tonight, man. Broncos hire a new coach. We've hit that. Ryan O'Halloran, Broncos beat writer, Denver Post. We went through all the sports topics with U.S. Senator John Thune. He joined us live today. That was really interesting to talk about his history and the sports, the current sports landscape. Busy show tonight. If you missed parts of it live, go to the podcast. We've got it all up there. Every guest. The Nate Brown Show podcast is live tonight once we get done with the program. We're rolling through the Drive at 5, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. And we've got high school basketball, man. We've been busy. Okay, we've got Stevens Central girls tomorrow night. And then we got the boys matchup Saturday afternoon. That game moved to 2 o'clock Saturday, the boys matchup. But the girls tomorrow night at Central, 7 o'clock. We're live on Fox Sports Rapid City. It's a showdown here. Stevens is ranked number 4. Central is ranked number 5. If you haven't seen these girls' basketball teams, I encourage you to see them. We cover them a lot. Great teams. The 10-1 Raiders are coached by Adam Dannenbring, and he's here on the Nate Brown Show. Coach, good to have you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I appreciate you having me on. Like, you try to save some pretty famous people for later on the program, so
Yes.
that's fantastic.
That's you. That is you, Coach. You guys are 10-1. Your only loss came to this Central team, which you play tomorrow night. It was a tight one. You got down by double digits. You stormed back. What did you learn that first run there?
We learned a lot about our team. Central did a fantastic job of breaking our press, and we have to make some adjustments on that. Try to improve that. We also, they did a very good job of battling us on the boards as well. And, they have some good players, and they made enough plays to beat us. So, we obviously learned that we can be beat, so we have to make sure that we play well. When we show up on the floor every day, we got to try to get better every day.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, Central's number 5, they're 9-1, you're number 4, you're 10-1. When Central and Stevens are this good, what's that feel like?
It's a great feeling. I mean, it's a great for Rapid City, that we've got 2 very good basketball teams, and it's a special rivalry anyway. It doesn't really matter what the records are when it comes to Central Stevens. The kids are going to get fired up. It seems like the games are always close and competitive, and it's a great experience for the fans and the players.
What do your players say about, like, the game tomorrow? I say, okay, it is another game, but it's a rivalry. The kids know each other. They really do. What do your players think about the game?
I think that, I think they kind of feel the same way that I do, that, it is a little different. I mean, like it or not, you just have to admit that it is a different game. It's a different atmosphere. I think the first time we played, we were maybe a little tight, especially that first half, where we just, we had lots of good looks. They just didn't go in the basket. And, when you're in front of a little bit bigger crowd than you're used to and the fans are cheering, and, it's something that, you got to get used to those situations. And I think that we learn from that experience, and hopefully we'll be better tomorrow.
Adam Dannon brings the Stevens girls head coach. He's got them to 10-1, doing a nice job. They only lost to Central by 4 early on. You've been back at full strength for the most part. How key is that for this bunch?
It's a nice feeling, right? I think our girls really stepped up. When Bailey was out for a lot of the first part of the season, working back from her knee injury, and it's been kind of a slow process for her, and it's been tough for her to be fully back. And I think that the last couple practices, she's looked really good, where I think that now she's at a full go, which is fantastic for our team. So yeah, it's been very good to have her back. Practices have been competitive, and they've been into it, and I've been really happy with how we've looked the last couple weeks in practice.
It sure seems like that would change the dynamic a little bit. We're talking Bailey Soapsack, so good, strong, tall, on the boards. You kind of had to play Jada McNabb, who's point guard / guard / you kind of had to play her down low a little bit. That's got to change the whole makeup a little bit.
Yeah, it does. And Jada did a great job just being kind of our Magic Johnson, where she had to play. Sometimes she'd have to guard the 5. Other times she's guarding the point guard. So, I mean, she's a good enough player where she can do that. And that's really nice, for us as a team to have a player that can, do all those different things for us. And, she did a fantastic job all the way through. And, and she's the best part about Jada is that she's just been so unselfish and such a good leader that way, where, she's getting her teammates involved, and she does the dirty work. She plays defense really hard. She rebounds just fantastic. She's averaging almost 10 rebounds a game at the point guard position for us. So, I mean, I think it's like 14 points a game, almost 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. So she's having a fantastic season.
No doubt. Adam Dannon brings the Stevens girls head coach. He's live on the Nate Brown Show. We've got the game tomorrow. I encourage you to watch it. Stevens is at Central tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. The Raiders are 10-1. Central's 9-1. I talk about Jada McNabb. I was impressed with her last year. Now it's her senior year, and I say, do you still have to tell her, hey, Jada, sometimes you need to shoot more? I mean, she doesn't shoot enough sometimes.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the nice part about it, the last couple games that we played, like, she hasn't had to score for us, and I think she just lets the game come to her. Against Campbell County, she did. She scored 22 points against Campbell County. And then last week she only scored, I think, right around 7 or 8 points each game. And but our team, we moved the ball so well, and we got just great shots. And but I know that when we need her, she'll be there for us. That's for sure.
All right, you can count on that. I do know that. 3 games coming up here. I know it's one at a time, but I look at this stretch. Here's kind of a stretch: Central, O'Gorman, Brandon Valley. Pretty big stretch here.
Yeah, they're all great teams. Just all of them are great teams. It's going to be. We'll see where we're at. And I'm kind of excited for this because when you play against other very good teams, you're going to see things that you have to improve on and where you got to get better at. And I'm looking forward to seeing where we're at and where we stack up. I've been really impressed with us at practice in the last few games. There's always things that we want to try to improve, but when you play against really good teams, I want to see where they're going to try to attack us, and and we'll see. You'll usually find out what your things that you need to work on are. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's good. Stevens and Central girls basketball. It's a great matchup tomorrow night, 7 o'clock over at Central. Cobbler's trying to win 2 over the Raiders. Stevens trying to bounce back after a 4-point loss earlier. Adam Dannenbring has them at 10-1. Coach, good to have you. Good luck to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Mr. Brown.
All right, appreciate your time. Good talking hoops with him. First year at Stevens. He's been a coach throughout South Dakota. First year back at Stevens as the head coach on the girls' side. Adam Dannenbrink tonight. Stevens and Central girls tomorrow, 7 o'clock. The Rapid City rivalry. That was a great game. I went to that early on over there at Stevens. Great game. Stevens lost by 4, came back from double digits late. Central's rolling too. 9-1, their only loss to Sioux Falls Jefferson. That's tomorrow. Raiders Cobblers, 7 o'clock, girls. And then Saturday afternoon, the boys matchup. We'll have it on Fox Sports Rapid City, both those games. That one's at 2 o'clock on the boys' side. Let's go to Inside Sports Medicine. Okay, now there was a guy who came back in the NFL last week in the playoffs. He came back. What was his injury? Will it change his career? Let's talk Inside Sports Medicine next.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
Rapid City in the Black Hills, if you're shopping for a new vehicle, before you buy, stop by Gateway, one of our 2 locations, 123 Omaha or 410 North Campbell. We specialize in credit rebuilder programs. We specialize in finding you the rarest cars in the market. We specialize in the funnest car buying experience. If you have good credit, bad credit, no problem. We specialize in people.
Gateway Autoplex with one of the largest inventories in the Black Hills. I'm Scott Hanna.
And I'm Adam Ray.
And nobody
beats a Gateway deal.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with lows around 19. Westerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Lots of sunshine tomorrow. Highs level off around 53. Mainly clear skies and quiet tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 31. Daytime highs approaching 53 Saturday under partly cloudy skies. 57 Sunday. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently it's 26.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
I got serious about staying fit just a couple of years ago. Now 5Ks, yoga, and smart nutrition are all part of my weekly routine. Part of my eating right plan? Country Hearth Breads. Natural breads with the whole grains and natural ingredients my body needs to perform at its best. Just a slice of toasted multigrain with peanut butter before a workout, and I'm ready to roll. Country Hearth is the easy choice because it's good for me and great tasting too. Country Hearth Breads, baking our best for you.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live, Fox Sports Rapid City. Busy show tonight. Busy show. So this was interesting last week. Derrick Henry, Tennessee Titans, great rusher, right? Just a massive guy, fast. I mean, he's been the leading guy in the backfield. Well, he's been hurt. He had surgery. He comes back. He had surgery in November, okay? He comes back, and obviously the Titans lose, but was Derrick Henry the same? He had surgery on his foot. Really interesting, and I always wonder, will this be the same Derrick Henry? He's just been, run through the gauntlet right in his career so far. Let's go Inside Sports Medicine, brought to you by Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The expert team when it comes to orthopedic care is at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. Orthopedic surgeon, it's Dr. Steve Giuseppe. Good to have him on Inside Sports Medicine. Steve, good to talk to you. How are you?
Doing great, Nate. Yep, always a pleasure to be on.
Let me ask you about this scenario. I found it interesting. Derrick Henry's workhorse. Start with this injury in the foot and kind of what we should know about it.
Yeah, good question. So he had what we call a Jones fracture, which is a fracture of that metatarsal foot bone kind of on the outside, the pinky toe side of his foot. It typically happens if you kind of misstep on the side of your foot. Dr. Jones was actually a British surgeon who misstepped while he was dancing, and I guess he named the fracture after himself.
Okay.
But so that's what it comes from. And I don't recall the specific play where it happened. I'm not sure whether we ever really know. I remember him hobbling off, and I think he went back for a couple plays, but presumably he either misstepped to the side or had somebody kind of come down on him, and he landed awkwardly on the side of his foot and unfortunately cracked that bone on the outside of his foot.
Okay, so normally, people are like, well, if you have surgery, I think most people think, oh, you're out for the year. Well, he was out, but he comes back for this one game. I wonder if we know about time frame here when you have surgery to the ability to get back at a very elite level.
Yeah, it's a great question. I think when he initially had the surgery, I think they said 6 to 10 weeks. That would be a pretty aggressive recovery. I think he came back to practice at about 10 weeks, and I think he, played a game around 12 weeks. I think that's about as quick as you could hope for. Sometimes, in terms of healing broken bones, usually the healing is a little bit ahead of the x-ray, so it's not like you can just look at an x-ray and say if it's fully healed, because it typically wouldn't be fully healed on x-ray at 3 months. But he must have been doing well enough in practice that they felt like he had the stuff. And I think he had like 20 carries or so they were using him. But yeah, the question is whether he had lost a little bit of his explosiveness.
That's what I wonder, Steve, really. I don't know if we know that. You're hoping you guys do all this great work and his surgeon and the whole thing. It's like, will that type of guy be the same, or is this something you think about when it comes to the foot, breaking, cutting, running? I just wonder.
Yeah, this fracture itself is kind of a little bit of a bugger. It tends to heal slowly, and sometimes it doesn't heal, which is why they opted to do a surgery for it. It was interesting reading through it. They used a little bit of a different technique. A lot of times when we fix these broken bones, for this one, we put a screw down the bone. They actually opted to put a plate and several screws on it, presumably to provide a little bit more fixation and strength, given who he is and what he does. A little bit bigger surgery, though, and you're worried sometimes about those plate and screws kind of rubbing on the outside of his shoe. But in short, I think as long as this bone heals, I would think he should be back to near normal next season. I think it was a little bit ambitious to think that, he'd be 100% at 12 weeks, but I realize, I understand why they put him on the field.
Talking Derrick Henry, Titans running back, comes back after surgery on his foot. Inside Sports Medicine, orthopedic surgeon at Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, Dr. Steve Giuseppe. And I wonder, people say, man, putting a plate in there, what about the sensation of that? What about, kind of the feel of that? I just wonder what that's like as a running back.
Yeah, it's a great point. If you feel the outside of your foot, you can kind of feel your ankle bone and then your heel bone. As you kind of go further down towards your little toe, you'll feel a little bump kind of a third of the way or halfway down. That's about where that fracture is. Most of us don't have a whole lot of meat on our foot there, so, the plate's meant to sit down and be pretty low profile and contour, but people can have some issues with that in terms of shoe wear, and there's some little foot nerves there that can get encased in scar tissue, so hopefully he doesn't have issues with that. And if he did, they could take the plate out after it healed. Probably wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Great insight. Dr. Steve Giuseppe. Steve, you're always good, man. I appreciate you coming on, shedding some light on it.
Stuff, interesting case. I appreciate the opportunity to chat with you about it.
All right. Inside Sports Medicine. That's interesting. Orthopedic surgeon, Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center, the best team, and Dr. Steve Giuseppe, a big part of that, live right here in Rapid City on Inside Sports Medicine. Learn more, BHOSC.com, the expert team at Black Hills Ortho and the work they do. Dr. Steve Giuseppe on tonight. Wow, that's interesting. Derrick Henry's a workhorse, heavy workload, already a ton of carries in his career, fracture in his foot. They do surgery. They put a plate in. I just think about that. I've had some nerve stuff in my foot up to my leg and on the side of my foot, kind of in that area where he's talking about. It's like I can barely keep up with my fourth grade basketball team. Anyway, but that's me. And I'm not Derrick Henry. All right, let's break into this. Who's hot and who's not? Brought to you by the Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch is the place for what? Your game day headquarters. You want to put an order in, chicken, pizza, cactus bread, the whole thing. PizzaRanch.com. The new wings, if you haven't tried them, hit them. PizzaRanch.com. 2 locations in Rapid City. You can put the order in, get it for your weekend, right? And then remember, the buffet open daily. So you want to go to the lunch buffet tomorrow, they've got you covered. 2 locations in Rapid City. The buffet open daily, 11 to 8 at the Pizza Ranch. In my Who's Hot category, as we wrap up the Nate Brown Show, I'm going to go to this. We haven't seen this number in quite some time. The Hornets. The Hornets, last night in the NBA, 158 points. 158 points. Now, people say, oh, nobody plays defense. That's like what everybody kind of says now in the NBA. I get it. Regular season defense isn't postseason defense. I get it. But I watch a lot of regular season NBA. I'm still going to die on this hill. The offensive talent and scoring ability is through the roof. I know the defense isn't what it was, but I'm still going to die on this hill. The offensive three-point shooting, scoring efficiency is through the roof. It's not, oh, man, everybody's bad on defense. They aren't as good in the regular season as the postseason. 158 put up last night by the Hornets. And I mean, you're going to keep on seeing unbelievable scores like this. I'm telling you, the NBA, the offensive talent, just watch games. Don't complain right away. Just watch games and then get back to me. And the shooting is off the charts. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category tonight, I'm going to go with this one. Iowa just introduced a political bill that would classify college athletes as employees at the University of Iowa, at Iowa State, and Northern Iowa in the FCS. That's what this would do. The bill comes as conversation heats up. We talked about name, image, and likeness a lot, the sponsorships. The deal is this, guys. College athletes will not be employees ever. How would this work? This bill would allow the Iowa Board of Regents, as they oversee the public universities, to set the athlete compensation. They would set the athlete compensation like they do other state employees. How are you going to do that? Are you, okay, why this doesn't work? Are you going to pay the Iowa Hawkeyes quarterback one salary? Oh, okay, we're going to pay him that salary. What are you going to pay the Iowa Hawkeyes golfer? Are you going to pay him the same salary? Well, I don't know. Iowa football makes a lot more money. What are you going to pay the Iowa female swimmer? Are you going to pay her the same salary as the Iowa point guard on the men's basketball team? How about the women's point guard? It's not going to work. Okay? I mean, I don't know how many. I mean, people try, well, you've got to try and make them employees, and we'll pay them salaries. And so what's the salary structure? Good luck working on that one in court. Let me know when Title IX calls on that one. That's out of Iowa today. It'll be dead soon, the bill. Back tomorrow on a Friday. We'll be in the Nate Brown Show. Basketball tonight. Rapid City Central Spearfish coming up. Girls and boys.